All right, lesson one of Unit 3, Introduction to Apps. So, in class, we got started with a thinking prompt about what are apps, how do we interact with them, what kinds of things do apps do. Some things that we came up with are that apps are designed to solve problems by providing a service. That may be entertainment, providing you with images, videos, TV shows, social media, chatting, things like that. Commerce for marketplaces or finding information like search engines and maps. And apps have screens or user interfaces to display and collect information to and from users. They can collect information through the use of buttons, sliders, or text boxes, and they're going to display that information through images, video, text, or sounds. The first thing that we are going to do in class is to explore a few apps that are on code.org. So this is linked on Google Classroom, and this is going to be bubbles 2 through 6. There's 5 different sample apps that you can go on, and I would suggest you do pause this video and go and just explore the apps, see what's there, and you are looking at how does the user interact with the app? What is the overall purpose of the app? And who is the target audience? And when you're done with that, come back here and I'll share what we discussed. Looking at the first app, water conservation tips. In this app, the user clicks through different screens and makes choices about correct ways to conserve water. When the user makes choices, images or sounds are displayed to indicate if a choice is the right one. The purpose of the app is to teach people about ways to conserve water. The target audience is young people who are interested in the topic. The second app, the bird quiz. The user answers trivia questions about birds. If the answer is correct, they go to the next question. If wrong, they're taken to a losing screen and then start the quiz again. If 3 questions are answered correctly, the user is taken to the winning screen. Purpose of the app is to teach users different facts about birds. The target audience is anyone interested in birds. Third app, the Hamilton Township Improvement Project. The user clicks through a few different screens to learn about township efforts to beautify the town. The purpose of the app is to educate users on steps the town is taking to improve the town. The target audience is people who live in Hamilton Township. The next app, Foursquare instructions. The user navigates through different screens that explain how to play Foursquare. On one screen, the user is quizzed on how many people are needed to play Foursquare. And the purpose of the app is to instruct the user on the rules of Foursquare. Target audience is people who would like to play Foursquare. And then finally, the Monarch Butterflies app. The user clicks on different screens and pictures of monarch butterflies to explore the life stages of the butterfly. The purpose of the app is to educate users on the life cycle of the monarch butterfly. Target audience is young people, most likely children or teenagers who are interested in life science and butterflies. Whoops, sorry. In developing apps, which are a kind of computing innovation, it's important to understand both their purpose and function. The purpose helps the developer focus on creating an app with specific goals in mind. So, we are going to dig into how users interact with apps by watching a video that's found on Bubble 7 of code.org, and it is called how computers work, what makes a computer. So I would suggest you go watch that video real quick and then come back to this video. Now, the video explained input, storage, processing, and output. Today we're going to focus on input and output. An app on a phone gets input in many different ways from a user or from another program. And it displays the output, or in the case of sound, plays output. The output of a program is usually based on inputs or the initial way the program was set up. For example, you could program an app to play a song as soon as it runs and not based on user input. So next we are going to move to starting at level 8, at bubble 8. The same 5 apps are going to be on there, but this time you are looking at what the inputs inputs and outputs are for each of those apps. And that's all. So go ahead and jump back on code.org, go through, starting at bubble 8, go through each of the different apps and see if you can figure out what all the inputs and outputs are of those different apps. So the inputs are going to be anything that the user is doing. So clicking on a button, tapping the screen, those are the most common on these apps. Output could be an image displayed, moving to a different screen, or a sound being played. That was the most common ones on most of those apps. Apps solve a problem for a target audience. They take input from users and output information in various ways. Users interact with apps through the user interface. So, the last thing I want you to think about is think about your favorite app and think about what the user interface looks like and what are the inputs and outputs of your favorite app. And finally, here are some definitions of those terms. User interface is the inputs and outputs that allow a user to interact with a piece of software. User interfaces can include a variety of forms such as buttons, menus, images, text, and graphics. By the way, there are user interfaces on every website we look at, pieces of software, apps, everything. Input could be any data that are sent to a computer for processing by a program. It can come in lots of forms, such as tactile interaction, meaning you're touching or swiping or tapping, audio, visuals, or text. And then output could be in those same different forms, like tactile interaction, audio, visuals, or text.